Hey there, guitar students. Welcome back. This is volume 3 of the Metal Mailing. I am, of course, Brett Miller from Metal Guitar Academy, and I'm going to guide you through this one as well. Okay, so this warm-up right here is really designed to work the stretch between your middle and your ring finger, which can be kind of a tough stretch for a lot of guitar players. So, very simple, but it's pretty effective. Here's how it goes slowly. Twice per pair of strings, as you'll notice. Next set of strings. Next set. Last set. And right here is really the key when you do those two fingers. So a detail with this is we don't want to do this. We don't want to be lifting the fingers that we're not using off the neck too much. Because if I do this, and then I just kind of jump to my middle finger, well, it's not really working the stretch, is it? Between any of my fingers. So we don't want to have this happen, this kind of thing. It's not helping you. What you want to do is, do they need to be all down at once? No, but you want to split the difference, okay? If I'm going from, notice my middle finger, while it doesn't have to press it down still, is going to try and remain at least hovering over this 9th fret while I put my ring finger down. That's the design here, is to work the stretch, right? So we want to have slow enough, oops, where you can do that. That's the key right there. Notice I'm not pressing, they don't have to ring. They certainly could if you want to challenge yourself, but I'm not doing that to get down here. I'm leaving this. It's still, for me personally, it's touching the string. I'm just not pressing it down. Okay, so you want to make sure you do that. Again, got a nice stretch here. I'm not like doing this. Okay, same for all the pairs. See that? It's really, not really about speed, obviously, but so I'll do a little faster all the way through, but that's the key with this one. You can get a little stretchier on these lower strings sometimes for people, so take your time. And again, of course, you can always do higher frets at first. If that's too much of a stretch, you can maybe do it up here. Okay, you get a little bit less of a stretch. Now, one other little tip here, which is cool if you really want to work these two fingers, really any pair of fingers, but these two, since we're talking about those with the warm-up, if you just play power chords, normally, of course, we do first and ring to do power chords. Great little way to get your stretch here and to work it and to actually be fairly organized with it, so that you kind of know where you start to have a problem with the stretch, so that you can focus on that particular area of the neck, is to just, instead of doing power chords with these two fingers, play power chords instead with middle and ring. And if you start high, now we are, of course, holding these down. You can move down slowly, get a very slow, steady stretch between these. And then you can start to see for yourself, again for me, won't be too bad, getting down, pretty good stretch here. Okay, I wouldn't play like that in quote-unquote real life, right, if it was a riff, but it's a really cool way to find out where you start to have some real trouble, then you can stay around that area. That also works, by the way, for, ring and pinky. Gotta slow it down. So I do recommend that. Okay, so here it is. You can see it. Probably should have put this up as I was playing it, but oh well. There it is, and you can see the fingers up there. You want to make sure you have pinky, middle, ring first, the way that I was performing it. Okay, great. So now let's move to the Fire and Steel. So this is about tapping, and more in-depth tapping stuff, of course, in the Unleash Your Speed audio course, and there's a pretty in-depth video as well that comes with that, with the tapping, or about the tapping. All right, now, what can freak people out about this is the rhythm here. Now, you don't need to be counting to 9 evenly as you do this. What I recommend that you do is, though, learn the lick first without a metronome, because you just want to get it under your fingers. But then when you do play it, and you practice it, you want to do it slowly, and just have a very slow metronome click, and make sure that you're tapping the note on each click. And what that's going to do is, it's going to allow your fingers to sort of take care of on their own, making everything else even. You want to focus not on every single note rhythmically, but just try and think ahead to that click to make sure that you're tapping. So it may end up sounding something like this for you, kind of uneven. But if you aim for now, that might be kind of slow to have a super slow click. But as you get a little bit faster and you can try and fit everything in, click, click, still kind of slow, click, click. You can even have the click, if you need to do this very slow, you could have the click go 1 per note. So that would be your click, let's say. Probably a little bit more reasonable instead of having a very, very long click. It's hard to come back in on time. Even for me, if something's that slow, you know, it's going to be difficult to be 100% accurate. So if you had a click on every note, you can still practice this and keep it nice and even. So it'd be like click, 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 click. So that can be a good place to start if you want to play this a little bit more slowly. Now, quickly, when you do the tap, we're doing middle finger so that we can keep a grip on the pick. And we are using this part of the arm and the wrist to mute the other strings. If I do this kind of more quickly, now I'm going to show you I'm appending a little bit of something at the end there, but you know, in addition to what's written there. But if I'm not doing this, I'm going to get a lot of noise. Right, so we want to mute. Get more in-depth explanation in the Unleash Your Speed course if you want to check that out. But okay, the idea here is, go back to a different camera. The idea here is really about getting even volume. Notice we're sliding back and then hammering back on, and then the whole lick starts again, just 1 fret lower. Now here's why I appended. I keep going here so that you can end on that 12th fret with a tap, because that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to keep the rhythm going as you go faster. In the written music, what you'll see is the last one, I believe, will be this 13th fret. And I kind of just have you tap like that. Why'd I do that? Well, just to fit it on the page, quite frankly. But you can keep this pattern going for as long as you want, because notice it's all one, no spaces. Even the tap is just 1 fret higher than your pinky at all times. So you could keep this going as far as you want, all the way down the neck. So here it is, again, performed slowly, slide, tap again. This is really good practice for your finger independence as well, because we're doing this cluster of 4 hammer-ons here. little faster, and I'll do this with the music here for you guys. Slowly again at first, so you can look at the music if you'd like. $14. Now here, what I'd recommend you do if you're doing a metronome is to go. So I slide one more time so you can end your tap there on the 12. Okay, so if you're doing this with a metronome, I would do one extra slide so that you're getting down, you know, where you can end on that 12. And I'll do a little faster. So if I was doing the click there, click, 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 that wasn't super even, was it? I'll do a little faster. Maybe I'll do a click. Might be a little loud here, but what the heck. So again, my aim is not to think of every note at this speed. Tap, tap, tap. That's what I'm focusing on here, so that I can then cram all these notes in and keep them even. See that? When I'm aiming for those taps. Click, click. And my fingers are going to kind of self-organize that rhythm to make sure everything is clean. And that's really what you want to do as well. So, oops. Kind of a cool lick. This is a lick I did in the Druid Green record in Chasm of the Elder Things. There's this kind of cool part in the beginning where I have two guitars doing that a half step apart with these whammy bar noises. It's kind of a sort of a soundscape kind of thing, but it's a neat little lick. One more time. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. And there you have it. Enjoy. Work on that. Let me know if you have any questions. Alright guys, until next month, this is Brett Miller, Metal Guitar Academy. Keep shredding.